Hi guys, just a little shout out here from Bangkok from Stefan and me.
Hi guys, nice to be with you again.
So, a lot is going on and a lot has happened, and as we saw this project coming to life at the symposium event, the first real event that we had in Bangkok, so much has happened. There's been so many updates, there's been so many new people coming in, and what's really happening is that the vision is becoming more and more clear. But it's not only that, it's also starting to measure up in something very tangible. Because what we've seen now is that the value of the free promotion tokens, or the redemption rate of the free promotional token, has actually gone up. It's gone up more than 25%, and that's awesome. And what that really means is that all of our customers, all of our supporters have discovered that what we're doing is not just delivering products and services, but we're actually also rewarding them in the overall outcome. So they've received a 25% bump up. But the most awesome thing, and I mean, we talked about it, what really gets us so excited is that all of the people who dared to believe back then, those who trusted, those who says, yes, we're going to do it, and really participated in that, got rewarded, not just in gratefulness, and we're happy for all of that, but you really got rewarded, because when you get a bump up on all of the commissions as well, I mean, get a 25% bump up in everything you already have done, it's mind-blowing. And with the conversations we've had, and what I've heard Stefan talk about, get ready for more. And Stefan, maybe you can sort of shed some light on it.
This is, it's very interesting what you say, and it's actually around the 27%, up in the rate. And this is very important for you guys to understand also, that this is not a value. I'm hearing a lot on the field about, that the value is this and the value will go to 25 cents, and so on. It's actually very incorrect, okay? Because what we are having from the free promotional token part, in the Cloud Horizon, towards redeeming it, if you wish to do so, is actually something that is calculated mathematically on making sense. What do I mean with calculated making sense? And also we saw a big jump in volume just before we were bumping the redeem rate. And it shows it's nice to have a big increase in your business and in our business from the field, but it shows a little bit that we still haven't gone through to you what we really are doing. And I'm going to try to explain what I mean with that, because why do we have specific redeem rates? It's actually very simple. Because if you think about it, you got on board maybe in February, you got on board in March, April, whatever. There was no output on fuel. Okay? Now directly when the output of fuel has started, it's already some weeks that it's taking away plastic from the market, trash, and out comes output of fuel. Now we have to remember, what is this? Every single liter that now is producing before next plant is producing fuel started before. So as you came in an early stage and trusted us, obviously yes, we have to reward you that trusted in the concept, believed and helped to make it real, because now we are talking about actually not only wow, is the company profitable? Yes, it is, Cloud Horizon, but also that the company is following through with actually investing in building these machines. So there is one step obviously more, and that is putting them into the to the exchange, into the market, where the real value will form itself. Okay, the value on the market, the
then
token
it is a tangible value.
There it is, yes. But why do we have a redeem rate like we have? It's simple, because if you think from February until July now, you have been involved in creating liters already. So if somebody would now join the concept today, it would not be fair for you, because he starts when already liters are produced. On the other hand, if somebody now is joining the concept, and start, promoting, influencing the market, where we are going, which means more turnover, which means more profit, which means that Cloud Horizon can keep on putting up these units, that means obviously that, the guy that joins today, tomorrow, has actually the same benefit. And that's what people don't seem to get. Because he starts on 275, but that is the same as you are in on 2.
Exactly.
So when it goes to 350, that is the same as it was for the guy today.
So to understand it right, they don't start lower, they start at their level.
Yes.
Only the rest are benefiting.
Correct.
From starting earlier.
Yes, because they were in and created the first machine which produces, fuel and so on.
But Stefan, there's a question, and I know it's out there and everybody's saying, so, oh, the rate went up and this and that. What will happen? When is next step? Because they feel it, in the field. We made more volume in one day than our best week, the last day. So that's just to give you an idea of how fast that grew.
Yeah.
What will happen?
This is, I want to come back to what I just said with, the redeem rate and why it has the structure as it has. Because when we started, this concept, and forming, the Orientum plus the ORTP, we didn't have what we have today. It has been evolving. Yeah. Why? Because people come with a certain input and we listen. If it makes sense and it would make it better for you, for all the parties involved. Because when you're thinking for you, it's not only for you, it's for you as an independent associate, influencer, supporter, whatever you are, how you're taking part. Yes, it is very good for you, but it's also good for SEPCO. Yeah. It's also good for Cloud Horizon. It's also good for Eltronex. It's also good for the consortium socium in general. It is a fair way. And I got a question today that I want to, a little bit touch on. People are thinking this and that, how much, will the buy orders, actually be on the exchange? And I said, that's again showing that people do not understand that. So if everybody would place, the tokens on the market, it's still the same amount of buy orders. It is just that the token would be lower. Correct? And which means that who would benefit? You that understand the concept, SEPCO, Cloud Horizon, and everybody that understands it. Because if the token comes cheap to SEPCO, I don't think SEPCO will let it out in the same cheap manner.
Of course not.
It is a very circular economy where everybody benefits. Now I want to touch on a point. Because in the next week and so, maybe when this video is released already, it's only a few days or it already happened. The Eltronex in itself will have its own, web page where you can go in, you can study, you can follow the news and so on as its entity underneath the consortium. Okay? Now, what is very important to understand is, currently we are in Thailand with the first unit, correct?
Yes.
That means that we only have the socium itself holding part then obviously of SEPCO and Cloud Horizon and you members, having 100% control of this unit. Yep. And that meant that it went then from 2 to 275 based on the liters and the output that is happening. I want to take a different scenario. Let's say that there is another party involved, a government, a company, a local community, whatever it is, an investor, as an example.
Into SEPCO, you mean?
Yes, into SEPCO.
Uh-huh.
Yeah? Or a deal in a government where we need to leave 20% for the government, 30% for the government, and they don't understand maybe the tokenization from the beginning. Mm-hmm. That means obviously that the investment in itself would be a little lower. It wouldn't maybe be the 3 million for a unit, but it also means that Cloud Horizon and the tokenization part between Cloud Horizon, SEPCO and all the others involved might not be a full jump. So if you're looking at now for the next unit, then 2 units are up and spinning, it would go from what? 275, yes, correct, to 350. But if you then see that we would have a 70% stake, from the consortium in it,
yeah,
that means that it would be 70% of this gap.
Yeah.
So I want to, get you really to understand this, because when something happened now, that doesn't mean that the same, speed doesn't continue. The opposite, it speeds up.
Oh, wait a minute. Does that mean that we don't need to fully finance one from Cloud Horizon before we could see the next growth?
Correct.
Oh, did you get that, guys? We don't need a full machinery.
Yeah, and it won't in most cases be a full machinery.
But then the time between having nothing into the first machine will be the longest distance we will ever see.
Of course it is, because it was fully financed by the operations of Cloud Horizon.
And now,
if you take an example, Cloud Horizon turns around 10 million, 30%-ish, profit margin, that would be the 3 million. Okay, correct? It might be totally different in another scenario.
But the outcome, when the 50 plants are fully there, will be the same.
But that is also something that you need to understand, because that is 50 full 100% operated plants.
Yes.
Correct? PP5s. That won't be the case. It might be 99. It might be 88, but we're talking about the output and the ownership control stake that the consortium has of it.
But the overall, the first project,
Yes.
the 50, would be the same, but it could happen a lot faster.
A lot faster and
Wow.
in different manners. And that is why is this? It's very simple to understand, because we have a synergy in this consortium that I can say with a very, very sure understanding of it, that no other direct sales company has had ever. Why? Because it's usually that company, correct?
Yes.
This is not about Cloud Horizon only. It is about the whole consortium that is growing. So yes, we have SEPCO in it. Yes, we have Cloud Horizon. Yes, we have Digital Distinct. Yes, we have the real estate connected to it. Yes. But this is growing all the time. You know what's been going on the last weeks?
Absolutely.
And maybe you can brief about that a bit, because our influence is growing every single day. Everything, if you start looking at the concept also about the founder token, that is there,
Yeah.
that has the whole consortium's influence underneath it.
And that's really what you got to look out for. I mean,
Yes, and
when
that
you-
will
when
be
you have your-
updated a lot on the next week, so you really understand what is the ORT. I can make it very simple for you. If you think the ORTP is a great thing, then you better take a look and learn about the ORT. Why? Because that is the founder of everything, the holding of the whole consortium, the preferred token for the whole consortium services, products, you name
So let me
it.
just break that down. That means if I have ORT, I'm actually partially profiting from the value of the entire consortium.
Of course.
So
Not in a
when-
way that you have stakes or shares in it, but if you think that you have a preferred, payment token or trading token of an entity, a country, whatever it is, how would you choose? Let's say that we're dealing with euros, and you're going to purchase a villa, for an example, from that country, or think the consortium or the group in itself. Let's say that the villa would be in fiat currency, and the currency that they have $1 million, €1 million or so ever. Do you want to pay $1 million, or do you want to pay 950 or 960 or 970,000?
That's obvious.
Then
wanna
you
pay the
better
low
start
price.
understanding what the ORT is, because that's the full purpose of it.
And that, you got to remember this, guys. We talked about the ORTP that are growing, next to the commissions that were paid out that you got from the redeeming the free promotional tokens.
Yes.
But this is on top. When you get the money to the cash account, you have these ORTs that we call it mandatory. It's wrong. It should be a loyalty
Yeah.
bonus, really.
Most
That-
probably will go that direction also, how we mention it.
that you will get, and only with those you can really get into the ORTs, because outside people with money can't do that. You can do that from there, and that's so awesome. And I just want to touch on a thing here, because
Can I
Yeah.
first mention something about this, because most people in Cloud Horizon now do not understand the journey until we got here.
No.
So it started with learning about blockchain technology, and some people ask me, but is this, is it real, is it a scam, whatever. Guys, where we are now on the ERC20, platform under Ethereum, is us learning where everything has gone so far, but also taking the best bet on where we more or less know that it's going to go in the future. We believe, all of us under the consortium, that it's no longer about only the fintech, or no longer about the fintech. That race is already done.
Yeah.
But it is about being able to provide value on it. And now, guys, the ORT, the Orientum founder, token, is now on the third platform. Who would do that with a scam?
No.
And also, whereof the value underneath the consortium is probably around 99% of all the money, that is inside, whereof outside money, from the beginning into this founder token, only is a fraction. The rest is, what we bring to the table, not only me, but all the entities underneath the consortium. I want to say one more thing also, because that the ORTP is the trading, full, 100% trading token of these pools.
Yeah.
So what about the rest of the fuel underneath Socium?
That will
And
go
SEPCO.
into.
That this has a possibility of being documented on the ORT. So why do we do this? It's very simple, because we believe, and I would say, I would be surprised if it doesn't go that way. If you think about it, you're a fuel buyer, okay? And you're using this kind of advanced biofuel that it is, that goes under regulations even now. how much you need to include in it in a certain area and so on. But many countries and regions are going over it, but that's not the point. The point is social capital, okay? So if I want to, market that, hey, I'm cleaning up trash with my all-day, everyday activities in my corporation, let's say I have an airliner, bus company, transportation company, or whatever, do you think I just want to say I'm using a certain fuel, or do you think I want to prove it?
You want to prove it.
That's why we have the blockchain. That means that not only will they be able to get, a preferred, a discount, loyalty discount by, using the ORT, but also being able to document what they did. Not only that they purchased a certain fuel, but also taking away plastic from the market.
And again, the fund, what you're talking right now, the funds you're talking about,
yes,
coming from outside the community in.
Yes, that's the beauty of it, where we are so different, and that is, in my opinion, I mean, it's a paradigm shift on what's going on with blockchain and value on it and so on.
So when we go live, that actually means we're opening up to an audience that is not yet able to add value.
Yes.
And that's yes, a very, very big difference to many. Now, you said something before that really struck me. You said learning, and boy, have we been learning this week.
Oh, yes.
I mean, we had some guys in here, and I can't tell you everything specifically, but we had some guys in here that were here to teach us about what we can do in future and how well we're positioned. And they looked through everything from, the structure of the plan and then into the network and the influencer platform we have with the CH Media. And these guys are high-end media trained people, and they were blown away with the CH Media and the message that we have to the world. And they were so excited about what they did that we had guys sitting here, but also on calls coming in from around the world to debate with us what it was. And to be very honest, after having this conversation where they learned about us, the feedback we got, I mean, we almost fainted. Steph and I were running around this area here. When they left, we were pretending to be okay when they were here. But what's going on, I mean, Stefan, in the future, when I say
that
next
is something
level,
that I understood with that, what is done with the Cloud Horizon Media, CH Media, and so on, is that because many people have been coming to us and say, but these platforms are already out there, influencer platforms and so on. What I realized with this specialist that actually handled that is that this is not the same. Okay, it is something totally different, because the market of influence and the area of influence from these so-called influencers today are more or less going through a paradigm shift also, whereof technology of today, AIs, certain programs are able to analyze, correct me if I'm wrong, but analyze the real long-term and the influence curve that an influencer have. And in many cases, the influencers of today are losing real influence.
Yeah,
that's what I understood from it. And where he specifically said and explained that there are a few very important things in what you've been also involved developing specifically for the networking and for this kind of direct sales area that is also going through a paradigm shift. I believe personally, guys, that it's going to go to the next level. Not only we, but the whole network marketing, MLM, is going through a paradigm shift now as we speak.
I'm absolutely convinced. And speaking of the next level, guys, let me just touch on that, because we have in Asia, in Bangkok, we will have an event on the 14th of September here, where we will roll out, we will display exactly what we're going to do over the next 6 months for you, so you have an idea where we're going. The week after, we're going to be in Budapest, Hungary, where we will do exactly the same things. We will show you where we're going, we will explain it, we will meet in the breaks, we will talk about it, but it will lift you, it will elevate you. Now, here's the key. Going there, getting that information is an absolute must. You have to be there to get it. You have to be there.
Yeah.
But you can't be there alone. And right now, we got awesome promotions going on. These promotions are not there to just, short term, give an extra benefit.
There is also something very important to understand here. You may be there or you were not in the launch event in Thailand.
Yeah.
We're talking then late February, March. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
And we didn't have any factories or polypetron 5s underneath the umbrella and underneath Cloud Horizon. it came in Amsterdam. Yeah,
Yeah.
correct? Don't believe that it's going to take that kind of time before we have one more. That's going to happen way faster than that.
And so when that happens,
that means that when we are sitting, on the next level tour, there is no question anymore about that what we are doing. People have seen it, then they will see it already, because we are expanding fast now.
exactly.
Very fast.
So what that means, means what do you need to do now? What you really need to do now is you got to make sure you have the seats. We are also experiencing another level of commitment, because we're seeing guys out there now buying 50 tickets. But the deal is with the limitations of 400 in Europe, for instance, one person holds 50 tickets. That it's 8 of those guys, and the room is packed.
Be expanded.
No, it is the size.
It's gone, and it doesn't matter if you are a 5-star or a 6-star or a 3-star or a 2-star. Or if you even are a CHLG member, the leadership group member, especially then I would say, if you don't have a ticket, you won't get in.
So let me ask you two questions that I'd like you to answer here. And the first one is what everybody sort of talks about. When will we go third step of proof of concept? When will we go to the exchange? And when can people the market start?
I think the name of it says it all.
Oh, but let me then go to the next thing, because if you could explain those combined, what does it take? What kind of commitment does it take? It's summertime in Europe and everything is. What does it take to get there?
Personally, I want to make very clear that you said, it's summertime and so on. For me personally, I don't care if it's summertime, if it's wintertime, springtime, whatever. For me, it's my time. Yeah. And I think that is one of the first things that you need to to decide. It's one of the first things that we need to decide. Who's got my time? Okay, is it me or is somebody else that that has control over the time? So for me, it's about first of all deciding what do I need to do.
Yeah.
So and what do I want? Because I can't expect to get something if I don't put in something. So first of all, my question to you is that, are you gonna ride on this boom, this momentum now, or are you gonna look from the side? Because, it's a huge difference, and people don't get this, What is the difference for you? Maybe you were in Amsterdam, maybe we were not. If you were there, my question is, were you alone? How many people did you have there? Do you see a different kind of, commitment with the people that was there? I'm pretty sure that you do. And this has been through my whole career, of 19 years in the industry. You can look at it two ways. Does it necessarily, mean that, that I will not be, successful if I don't participate in the event? Yes, it does.
Well, let me then ask, what's the difference, Stefan,
difference
between committing this summer or next summer, for instance? What if I
it's
do it next summer?
huge, because if you're thinking about it, if you started in February, you were redeeming with promotions and this and that, and when you're riding and you understand the rules of the strategy, you're talking about the strategy over the next 5 to 6 years. So if you understand that, that is how much leverage you will get on it. But leaving out a year doesn't mean that it's 10% less leverage. It means that you missed out on your foundation of your time freedom. That's what it's about. Because I don't think you understand. When this goes, your level of commitment will be exactly in measurement and in relation to your level of understanding of where you are, where you want to go, and so on. When you sit at the table and explain the business, for a person, they will not understand anything about what you say. Seriously. Yes, maybe oil, plastic, fuel, whatever. But guys, they will follow or not follow based on your level of commitment. And how does commitment grow? Commitment comes from several things. Obviously, yes, I'm going to decide I'm going to jump off the balcony. Fine, I'm going to die. That's the result, most probably. Now, it's a different thing also. The difference between Cloud Horizon and the consortium and everything that we do today, with everything I've seen so far in 19 years, is that normally when you get into a concept, obviously you're excited, otherwise you wouldn't join. But then it starts, planning out and it's going down and so on. The people that gets committed here is getting committed on feeling, but not a feeling that comes from showering them from upside, from the inside of understanding what is plastic pollution, understanding what is the consortium, understanding how does the tokenization strategies work, understanding that the problem, the cause, is something that needs to be done with or without you, with or without Cloud Horizon, understanding that there is no other solution on the market currently that can do it as fast and as effectively as you, as an influencer, following it and doing it and implementing it. You can't do that without being there. You can't. But my question is, are you going to be there alone, or are you going to have people with you? And how many people with you to start your foundation of your network? Because there is no foundation before you are fully understanding, and not only understanding, fully convinced of that what we are doing is not only real, but it's happening. Okay?
Absolutely.
You can't take shortcuts.
No.
It's impossible.
So forget you.
Listen,
Yeah.
it's so interesting when people believe that just because we are in the internet era today, just because, I can sit and do a webinar all over the globe, using it. Guys, basic rules of the industry we are in. On the first that has been built, the most successful companies in the world that still are not there because of the compensation plan or reward plan. They are not there because the product is the most beautiful. They are not there because this and that. They are because of one thing, and one thing only, and that is that they understood the level of importance on functions. So the first of the rules for building a big organization, a sustainable organization, is tickets. Tickets, and not tickets on the second or the third, on the first. And it's a long thing in between the second that comes on the list even.
Yeah.
And why? For the simple reason that you, as a influencer, as an associate, call it what you want, can build only by understanding that you can plan your business at the level you want it to be within 3 months, within 6 months, a year, whatever, 5 years. You can do it solely alone on having people sitting, being present on functions. And it's about leading your group, that's what is leadership. Leading your group from one function to the next, to the next, to the next. If you don't have people committed to going from 1 to 2, going from A to B, there is no progress in your business. None whatsoever.
So let me ask you here, because you often talk about actions and emotional involvement.
Yes.
So why is it so important that I go and I commit myself, I buy my tickets today, so I have them? I mean, couldn't I just wait? I mean, if it, with the money wise, so
yes, but my question is not what it's going to cost you to be there. My question is, what is it going to cost you to not be there?
Yes, but what's the power of having them now, buying them now?
Yeah, but you won't have any if you don't buy them now. It's very simple. And it won't happen, that, hey, please, we have these tickets. No. We have booked the locations. We have booked the venues. We have booked the trips. Everything is done.
Yeah.
In Thailand, in Asia, there's 800 maximum, not 801. I would prefer 700, to be honest. In Budapest, there is a 400, not 401.
No.
That is how it looks. And if you're not reacting to that, if you're not taking responsibility for your ticket, firstly, but also your organization, because you can't even, leave it up to that they should understand themselves. No, they don't. First, when you're a leader, you decide. You decide, am I committed to do this, yes or no? And the thing is that you should not share, keep that commitment for yourself. You should share it with your partner, your upline, your sponsor, your mentor that you do in the businesses. So he or she can help you with your commitment, can help you plan how it's done, can help you not only having these tickets, but actually putting people sitting there. And the thing is that if people don't have a ticket, they won't sit there.
No.
It's just how it is. And, I'm amazed every time that people do not get that. Because I got it not from the beginning in my career, but when I got it, I can tell you, the next event, when I understood about it, you know how many tickets I bought?
How many?
Committed to 2,000.
2,000 guys.
And I had an organization that had maybe active people that did something 50 to 100. But I understood how it was built. So I started by looking at my organization and looking, okay, where are these guys? They need to be goal setting, where they are going. And volume means what? Product purchases and turnover. Okay, guys, those don't come just and fly into the organization. It is people, influencers, supporters that creates this volume. So I need to plan where I want to be, because if I don't plan where I want to be, who will? Exactly. So I always think like that, and people get it wrong, and you can't leave it up to the person, to plan it, because, guys, a normal person that hasn't been in the industry before, the probability that that person knows even how to make a plan is almost sub-zero. Okay? Because people are coming into the school, you get a scheme, you're going to be in the school here, there, you're going to a job, and they don't understand how to first put a goal where they want to be, and then start breaking it down with actions, because the beauty of the industry where we are is that it's 100% mathematical. If you treat it that way.
Yeah.
Okay? So if I do, I get. But if I don't use, functions to anchor my business and build the leadership, it won't be sustainable. It will have a totally different speed. I can tell you how it looked for me. I had 3,000 people in my business when it failed miserably. 6-7 months down the road when I started, actually 8 months, it went from producing good, volume and turnover and obviously then commission for me to totally collapsing. Okay? Where 3,000 people, customers in the network, produced less than now. Listen, when I understood it 6 months later and started using that over an 18 months period, it produced less than 20 people that did something in the right way. 20. So I made a plan directly, and my plan was on 18 months that time. And what I reached from having that, and then nothing was happening, a dead organization, in 18 months was 75,000 active customers doing reorders, purchases monthly. 75,000. And 300,000 through it.
75,000.
75,000.
That basically means that if it was you starting back in...
Yeah, but then it was me starting.
Then you would still have a year left, and that's it.
Yes.
And you would be at that goal.
Yes.
But what you didn't have that time, you didn't have any
I didn't have, no.
You didn't have anything.
I had guys, I had
top.
vitamins and shampoo.
And that's it, guys,
And a shitty compensation plan.
The last thing I want to say here, from us is just this, maybe a tip. When you have the opportunity, get around people who are excited, get around people who want to go somewhere, get around people who gets what we're talking about, because it will train you. We got trained. We're training, we're influencing each other.
Every day.
And if we're not around such people, we will be around different people and we will be influenced. So make sure you target and you focus your energy, because if you're ready to do this year what no one else is ready to do, you'll be able next year do what only a few could even imagine to do.
Only a few. This is, I see it very, very simple. Okay, you're not going to be a loser, getting on board in 5 years from now, because still you have the same rules,
Absolutely.
But you won't be able to compete with the guys that does it now and the girls that does it
And
now.
let it be said very clearly, those joining in 5 years from now are adding value to the entire community.
Of course they are, and also it will be very beneficial, because still the tokenization is working with that pool. 50 new, 10 new, 100 new in a new pool and so on. And obviously it gets easier and easier and easier, because then it will be natural. Yeah. It's like having a frequent flyer program. Nobody's questioning that.
No.
People will understand what it's all about, because it's a proven, 100% proven concept. But you has gone through several pools already. Yeah. So you built and you were committed and you got up to, and it hit, the redeem rate, and it was full the pool of 50 financed, producing, fuel producing, initial in the pool PP5s, but then it jumps to the next one and you start again from 2. So you will have got that leverage, and I mean, you can understand that if it took, X amount of time to put up the first plan and a much shorter time to get the second and the third, I mean, how fast will it be then when you open the next pool? So I mean, obviously, I don't have a, crystal ball and something, but I mean, we're getting from not only the guys we've been meeting, the last days here that are totally, like blown away with something what we have, and I understand that they are. But we're also talking tokenization specialists, that looks at this and, marvels. We're talking industry leading, not only business people from the industry, but also big leadership when they get it, that On top of that, also we're solving the chicken and the egg situation with customers. We're solving the situation of sustainability long term with having outside economy flowing in, to your organizations, your customers in the future. People are starting to understand why is the compensation plan, reward plan like it is. It's step by step, guys, because even if you build 2, lines, you will be blown away how wide it will start going. And 3 and so on. And having no, maximum, reward, for you, it's, up to the volume and up to you how you built it. So my question to you is, because I know Jens and we are full in and we are learning from each other minute-wise every day. We are learning from people, meeting from, maybe we eating.
But we eat the information, don't we? We eat the impressions.
Or maybe even we eat them into the consortium. I don't know what it is. But the thing is that, one thing I have learned over the years, I used to be a very not person able not to, to learn and open my ears. But it was teaching me, over the years, and that's one quote I want to quote it for you guys, and that is, life consists of lessons. If you don't learn by these lessons, the lessons get harder. So I got into a really tricky situation by not learning because it's not about if you fail. We fail every day. We fail daily, but we get better on it because we learn from the failure. And the harder it stings, the more there is the probability that we will learn.
Absolutely.
And there are people like I was, that they don't simply want to open their ears, but many of them coming back already and sending me a message, I told them about it, 6-7 months ago and say, yeah, interesting, but they got stagnant. They may be registered in the organization and then they come back and ask, hey, could we speak? I said, what's up? Yeah, I want to, really take a look at it now because I see that something is happening. It's a buzz on the market and so on.
And it's quite normal, isn't it? That people are growing with the project.
Of course they are.
So we will grow into a bigger mass.
Yes, and we didn't understand even where we are today, 6 months ago.
Sure not.
I mean, it's evolving and it's growing and time can only tell, but I'm very excited to see how do we look, at the next level, tour, and where are we going to the next level then, the 3 months later for that tour, and so on. I mean, it's been amazing so far, and I want to thank you guys for your dedication. You know who you are, the ever-growing leadership, in Cloud Horizon. And also I want to thank you that takes the time to take a look at it now maybe and see this for the first time, to actually really take a look at it. And that's a challenge, it's about time. You do it now and you don't have to do it later. And thank you so much for supporting us and believing in us. And we are every day, like I said, learning.
Yeah.
But we won't stop and stagnate because it's our job to grow.
Yeah.
To learn, make sure that the right elements are inside the consortium, and also plan ahead for the future. As good as we can, see what's coming up and navigate. So thank you from my part. It's been a pleasure so far, and I'm sure it will be even a bigger pleasure. And always with Jens for the last days you've been here also. It's amazing.
Yeah, and thank you from my side as well. This isn't totally unscripted. We want to keep it raw, real.
Yeah.
And so, take a look at it. Make sure you get the lessons, because what's going on here, I mean, it is so hard to capture in word. And if you really want to know, if you really want to know what's going on, the next level tour, guys, is it. Use the promotions that are there right now. They are designed to increase your business. Thank you so much for listening.
See you on the top.
See you on the top.